Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of This Month in Irish History. I'm Dan Murphy. Joining me as always is our senior editor here at Blue and Gold Illustrated, Lou Somogyi. Lou, quarter century ago, about this time, Notre Dame was getting ready for Media Day, and some big news broke.
Yeah, Media Day, August 9th, 1989, it was dubbed as Black Wednesday at Notre Dame. Now, picture this right now, and I'm not trying to give anyone a heart attack, but what if Brian Kelly appeared at this year's Media Day and said, okay, unfortunately this year, Jalen Smith, Sheldon Day, and Tarian Falston will not be able to play. I think there would be a reaction, but that's what it was 25 years ago. Michael Stonebreaker, the All-America linebacker, George Williams, who had an excellent season for the 1988 national champs at defensive tackle, and then Tony Brooks, who led the team in rushing during the regular season, all were declared ineligible for that season. And then furthermore, the top backup fullback Braxton Banks had his career ended with a knee problem. You know, sometimes we use the word depth indiscriminately. Notre Dame, despite all those losses, was still considered the team to beat for the national title because Tony Rice was back at quarterback, and now he had Ricky Waters and Rocket Ismail still making some plays on offense. Defensively, you had Chris Sorge, and by the way, the guy replacing Michael Stonebreaker was Ned Bolkar, who 2 years earlier was a second-team All-America before Stonebreaker beat him out for the position. So that's the true meaning of quality depth.
What was, I mean, they still had enough players, they were still considered at the top of that list. What was the panic level at that point when that news kind of first came out amongst Notre Dame fans?
Yeah, nobody likes to hear anything like that. I remember that back then the media days were held on the actual playing field there, and it kind of broke right there among the players, and the repeated words I kept hearing from all the players was, "T can't ball! T can't ball!" which was Tony Brooks, just known as T. And Tony Brooks, by the way, father of Anthony Barr, first-round pick of UCLA this past year. But yeah, I mean, anything such as that, no matter how good you are, no matter how much depth the team might have, it's going to create instant waves of panic like that. But that's the way it was then, and in many ways that's the way Notre Dame remains.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting that all that made it all the way to Media Day, and Lou Holtz was the one who first kind of had that without it squeaking out elsewhere. I don't know that happened in today's generation.
Yeah, there were leaks, but today's world with Twitter and everything else, I mean, this would be pretty much common there. But yeah, it was a blow at that time that was considered immense, and really compared a lot to 40 years ago, summer of '74, when you had, again, after a national championship season, three of your luminaries, such as Ross Browner, Luther Bradley, Al Hunter, plus Willie Fry, were all suspended that year as well for an infraction. So I guess that's the price of a national championship season sometimes, but I'd be willing to deal with something like that again.
Even a national championship runner-up with Everett Golson last year doing the same thing. It's kind of the annual rite of summer where you go through that at least once. The one other thing I thought was pretty interesting when reading back about that story from 25 years ago was Lou Holtz's quotes about not knowing the whole story and just kind of having to take what the university gave to you. It seems like back then the disciplinary process was probably a lot different than it is today as far as head coaches being involved in that process.
And Charlie Weiss kind of spoke about that too with Office of President's Life. You know, that was kind of his final shot before he left there. And since then it's been considered maybe a kinder, gentler Notre Dame when it comes to disciplinary matters and all. Whether it's, you know, Michael Floyd, you know, I think a lot of people would have thought 3 years ago he would not have seen the field with a second incident like that. But, you know, times change, everything changes.
Well, Notre Dame escaped with only one player suspended this year for off-the-season problems, Will Mahone, a third-string slot wide receiver, but still about a week or two to go for the guys to keep their noses clean before training camp opens in early August. But that's going to do it for us on this edition of This Month in Irish History. Until next time, check us out at blueandgold.com.